Nedum, I think what we have to address straight away, yeah,
Go on.
because I know you gave me a bit of stick on the radio.
Nah, but I didn't. I don't think I gave you that much stick.
You give me a bit of stick. He's like, "What are you kicking the ball in the corner for?"
Let me ask you this question. So I've seen a video, yeah, where I've got the ball in my hands and the QPR bench starts celebrating behind me.
Yeah.
Did you see him?
Celebrating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've explained this in recent times.
Okay.
Because people say, "Oh, you guys must have known you were up and whatever." I said, "No, most of us didn't. The only person that might have done is Jay Bothroyd."
Yeah.
Because I was saying, go down the line. And when I threw it, you never went down the line. And for years, I didn't know why until I saw the video from the far stand, which shows me with the ball in my hand and the bench start going nuts.
Exactly. He was like,
So you
we're
knew.
safe,
Yeah.
we're safe.
And I knew,
Like,
'cause he's
I knew, yeah, because I was looking back.
He's looking, they're behind me, but I'm caught in the moment. I'm just trying to play the game. If I would have known that it was like that, probably just messed about.
Exactly. That's what happened to me, because for me, in my mind, I was thinking, when he went, we're safe, in my mind,
Done.
I'm in holiday mode now.
You're gone.
So like, I was thinking, man, where am I
thinking
going to go
about
tomorrow? And I was thinking
Dubai.
about my bonuses. I was like, I had all sorts on my mind.
But it's perfect though, because anyone else in your situation would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
But then anyone in my situation would have done the same thing. So like, it's the perfect story, and it's like a proper sliding doors moment.
It is, yeah.
Because if you didn't see that, they
would've
might
not-
never
yeah.
score.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like, because if I didn't see it, I would have chased after the ball. I would have run down the line.
100%.
And then obviously Man City might not even won.
No, I was asking you to go down the line because you're good for that. You'd have gone down there. You're good for that. You would have been holding people up. No,
If you see it as well, when you threw it as well, I was just like, I didn't even make an effort for it really. I was just like, I don't know.
Annoyingly though, some people, especially like people associated with United, think it's like a conspiracy because they think we were all in on it together. But I say all you got to do is watch that last 60 seconds back, see people fall on the floor, trying to make tackles, ball goes in, people are on the floor nearly crying.
But it's true, no one even knew, because you see people holding their head as
Exactly.
well. Like, no one even knew. But I tell you what was funny as well, because you know when there was what goal was it when I took centre and I just kicked it down.
Yeah.
That one as well. Like I looked round and he's like, just kick it in the corner.
That's the one I want to know about.
And I literally just like,
what do you want us to do?
That's what I said. Exactly. So I just thought, right, and I kicked it right in the corner, and then I see Hart sprinting over to it, and I was like,
And he
right,
threw it,
right.
didn't
Yeah,
he?
and then he threw it, and then
That's the thing. Realistically,
That was it.
Like, we're at that time we're the fourth bottom team in the Premier League, down to 10, playing away at Man City.
you don't even expect to like get a result there.
From the kickoff, what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not gonna just
It's
bop
like
it round the back.
It's
I'll
like
tell you one
Coventry
thing, though.
recently. Like they'd never go into that
Coventry
game
recently
thinking
against
about
Man United, that was crazy.
thinking about. Well, of course they want to win, but going into that game, you're not expecting much, are you?
And City, at the time as well, City dropped 2 points at home all season. And now
But I
here
tell
we
you
are.
what though, both them games that season, we gave them a good game. We
Yeah,
lost 3-2
absolutely,
at
yeah.
home, and then we obviously lost that game.
So
But
that season, City won. You stayed up. QPR stayed up.
I remember. I'll
Perfect
be honest with you,
season.
Nedum.
It's
I don't know if
perfect,
you remember. I was celebrating with their players.
After the game.
After the game, yeah.
yes.
I
Was you?
Yeah, man.
Bro.
I had the Premier League trophy was close to me.
Hey, listen, after they scored to make it 3-2 and we realised we're safe, everyone, like if that game was another 10 minutes, it would have been the wildest 10 minutes you've ever seen.
True, yeah, it was crazy.
Listen, no high-fiving each other, everything, but instead,
That's why I said, even though what Joey done was a madness, in the end, it kind of paid off because we knew we were safe.
No. I don't know if it paid off.
As in,
You
no,
just-
as in,
no,
we knew that
don't
we were
say this.
safe.
It didn't pay off. It just didn't matter.
That's
the
true.
thing.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It didn't pay, it's not strategy. Let's get someone sent off. It just didn't matter. It's like ended up for me personally being a former City boy, whatever. It was the perfect day. Don't get me wrong. I didn't like the manager at City or anything like that, but I like the players because I've been on a journey with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So
yeah.
like when the final whistle went, say Gibril went to Nasri,
Yeah.
like you
See, that's what I
whoever. I went to Joe Hart because I remember I was with him when we didn't score a goal at home. This is mad. Didn't score a goal at home at City one season from the end of January till the season ended. Didn't score a goal at home.
It's mad.
That's the same City that I was a part of.
Hold on. What year was that then?
This was
2006 -ish?
6,
Yeah.
7. It was.
That's
scored a
crazy.
penalty in the
Hold
FA
on,
Cup.
who was up front them times?
Apparently, no one. No, I'm joking. No.
This is funny, right?
No, who
'cause
was there though? I know you don't want to expose people,
I
but
think at the time there was Giorgio Samras. I think it was a guy called possibly Bernardo Corradi and Rolando Bianchi, to name but three. There might have been someone else as well. But
as you're talking about this is funny. So the first game I ever went to watch, my stepdad's a big City fan. We went to watch City Hamburg in the Europa. I think you played actually.
I played, yeah. Second leg.
Robinho is in the team.
Yeah, man.
Robinho was amazing.
Elano was as well.
I bet you wouldn't really like a.
No, I'll be honest, man. Like Robinho, he was funny because he was just a good vibes guy.
On his day though.
On his day.
He's my favourite because he used to wear the red boots. Like, what are they called? Like red Mercurial or something like that.
Mercurials.
Yeah. So when he came, so the club got bought out and he came, but he stood out because he was different.
Yeah.
Mark Hughes was manager before that, and he had a team which he was trying to build. He brought in that summer. He brought in like companies, Abletas, and whoever, but not when the takeover had happened.
Yeah.
So we had all these like hardened players, this baggy kit,
Yeah.
and then we had Robinho. You know what I mean?
It's true, yeah, and that looked massive. Yeah, it's true. It just smothered him, didn't it?
Yeah,
but you know what? Mark Hughes, them players that he did buy though, they would turn out to be like legends.
Vincent Kompany's got a statue outside the stadium. Zabaleta's like an icon, like they love him, like a proper club legend. Isn't he?
He was one of them players though, innit? When I remember Zabaleta, like playing against him and stuff, he was just like an always guaranteed 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
just like
there and
he's warrior. Yeah. And here's a funny story for you. So both Pablo and Vinny, when they both signed, they were actually both like centre mids as well. Yeah,
I don't remember Company was
when I first met Vinny. It was when he was at Hamburg, yeah, and it was the season before say he came, and he was playing number 10. It was
hold on, who?
Vinny Company was playing number 10. He was wearing number 10 as well. It was him and Rafael van der Vaart playing 10 for Hamburg.
Wow. Yeah.
He was Nigel de Jong sitting, and then
was he good there?
He was nice. He was right, to be fair. It was
Yeah?
nice. He was nice. He was like proper.
It's true because when he started playing centre back, he was. I mean, for me, the first person that I see like bring the ball out of defence and look like an absolute baller was Rio.
Yeah.
And then Company kind of come in, and then it was something similar where he was bringing the ball out of defence. But the only thing is, I remember thinking to myself, sometimes he was a bit rash in challenges. But then as he got older,
Vinny's
matured.
Where like he's got his quality, he's got like a real drive to win, but he's aggressive as well, man.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you a story. We did our first American pre-season tour, and we're playing against Inter Milan. It's after Inter Milan just won the Champions League. Yeah. And I was on the bench for this game.
Wow.
Yeah, it might have been Mourinho,
Yeah.
Unless Mourinho had gone to Madrid at that point. Do you remember when he was like crying and whatever?
Yeah.
They're all crying with each other.
But
anyway,
he went after that, didn't he?
Yeah,
he won the Champions League and then went
to Madrid. So we're playing against, or he's playing against Inter Milan, and Samuel Eto'o's up front, yeah. And like City are getting cooked because it's it's Inter Milan, and this is new City getting cooked. It's like embarrassing, really. But Vinny's getting more and more worked up and frustrated. He's like kicking, like getting really aggressive, and he's getting aggressive with Samuel Eto'o. He's like, for me being from West Africa, Samuel Eto'o's like one of the gods, one of the gods of football. You know what I mean? There's probably 5 or 6 of them. Like they're different. So Vinny's kicking him. We're losing. Half time comes and Eto'o talks to Yaya and Kolo Touré saying, "Can you tell your boys to calm down a little bit?" Yeah. So they told Vinny. Vinny said no. He said, and not only no, he said every time he complains, I'm going to kick him again. Yeah. So I was like, Vinny's nuts, man. It's a pre-season game. Vinny went out second half. Every time he opened his mouth, he got clamped again and again and again. And I was like, this is. I saw something in that day that made me say, yeah, okay. This guy is
different.
Did you think at all, like, at what point did you think he could even make it as a centre back though? Like, be one of the best, like, in Premier League history.
So he was playing midfield for City, and then there was a game where somebody got sent off, so he came to play centre back with me, and it was for probably a couple of games. And he can read the game well, he can do all that stuff, but then you start to see like his drive and how he could see a different sort of game from there. He wanted to use his energy and go into midfield and so on. But all of a sudden, he realised that he could, well, maybe he didn't realise, but he could just organise everything around him, be really aggressive with his style of play, and like command a different type of respect. And the game is always going to be a part of it. I think at times, because the way we were at City initially, like him dropping off and so on, it's not really of a benefit. But now he's getting the ball off the goalie, dictating attacks, telling people where to go.
Yeah, that's quality.
That suits his personality. And like for how dogged he is, perfect.
I'm going to be honest with you. See him, when we was at QPR togetger, I used to hate playing against him.
Yeah.
I used to hate it. It was like, I knew that I was going to get
keep up now.
Because he's rapid as well, yeah. He's super strong.
Yeah.
And he'd even go to the gym.
Yeah.
It's like hard food, isn't it?
Yeah. That hard food.
That's what we had yesterday.
But to be fair, I don't know if you'd agree with this, but like I was someone who was like passionate about training, and like those. So Tuesday sessions used to be the hardest sessions. We were playing Saturday, and I used to love being a part of that. And I liked to be respected by my teammates, and sometimes you get that from how you train. Yeah. Sometimes the games you might not play well, but how you train can sort of dictate it. So I was always like committed, fair. I would like if I fouled you, I'll pick you up. You know what I mean? I'm not
No,
trying to hurt
you
anyone.
would.
I'm
But
never trying to hurt anyone.
like for me, I was opposite to him. So for me, I go into training and be like, "This is where you try things.
Yeah,
this is
not
were
for
you
me,
make
no.
your mistakes." And he wasn't like
Were
that.
you
No,
just
but-
like, yeah,
he
this
was
is
just
how I'm
like
playing.
he
This
trains
is
as he
the-
plays.
This is
Yeah.
it. Committed 100%. But again, it's like, I was fair though. That's the thing.
But my point is with him, he was one of those defenders that I was like, you didn't quite know what to do because I wasn't faster than him.
Yeah.
He's one of those players that I couldn't outstrength. Like, I could outstrength most people, but he wasn't one of them. And then he was at a height where it was like, you think you can beat him in the air, but then he's got spring. So it was hard. So I end up like trying to bring him out of his comfort zone, which is centre back. I'll drop deep, hoping that someone would just run in behind.
You've been a good player, man. I watched you for years before I played with you, and then I played with you, and understood exactly why you'd done so well before that. You know what I mean? Like, the better the player was that I was training against, the more I'd learn myself, because it'd always help you going forward. Like,
It's like iron sharpens iron,
exactly.
isn't it?
Like,
you get better.
I was lucky enough to be at City the season, like first half of the season before City won the league. I was there. Year before I was there. So my training sessions, if I was training with the first team, I'd be playing against Balotelli, Aguero, Tevez, Dzeko, people like that.
I was just saying just now, yeah, be honest. I was just saying Balotelli is probably one of the most talented players. But hold on, let me just say this because I know you're raw. I think when you come from Inter Milan and you're earning peanuts, basically, to come into City earning a better part of 100 grand a week at that age, that changes you.
Yeah, the fact is, when he came over, he was 19. 19, a prodigy, and he wasn't like a mature 19 either.
Exactly.
And he was
Yeah, I
coming
hear
into
stories.
a space where he had like pros, if you know what I mean.
Proper-
he had
proper
like
players.
companies,
Yeah.
Gareth Barry's, Les Scott's, like pros, you know what I mean? So his sort of like mentality wasn't up to theirs at that time. His talent might have been clearer there.
Yeah.
But like, there's a reason why, for example, before Gareth Barry came to City, he was like 7 out of 10 minimum every week.
Every
in
week,
Villa.
yeah.
Every week minimum. It's because there's like more to
And that's
it.
why he
Yeah.
played till like what, 40?
You need this different gear. James Milner's different gear, man. These guys, as I look back, like I learned so many little things from them because they do it right. When I was playing, me and James Milner were basically the same age, yeah. So I played 21s with him. And we used to go away for like the 10 days and we do hydration tests every day. Was it the same when you were playing from back then as well? And he always used to get the best score, so he's the most hydrated all the time. And people say, this guy is so busy.
He's just
man.
disciplined.
He's just like, just staying up all night, just drinking
where-
or whatever.
where
It's called
did-
preparing?
Where did
You know, he's eating plain food, no sauce, everything.
playing past?
one
But he's still playing now,
know.
retired 4 years ago. He's
I'll
still
tell
playing.
you what happened. Did you? Was that only 4 years ago you retired?
Yeah, 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I would say though about. I first played against James Milner when I was at Cardiff, and we played Aston Villa in a cup game. And I'll be honest with you, before that I was thinking, man, why is this guy getting so much plaudits all the time? Like he's just basic. Then I played against him, and I was like, okay, now I understand.
Absolutely.
And then when I got called up into the England squad, I was training with him, and even then I was like,
Intense.
he's got even better now.
yeah, he's very,
He
very
was,
good.
yeah. You can see why he's still playing now. He's a,
Yeah.
he's a
And he's
great
got an
professional.
edge to him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, people can have talent,
Yeah.
but then what is a win worth to you? And he's somebody where in training
We'll
everything.
go all in for that
everything.
win.
And you have to, like, when someone's like that's in your team, you follow them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It kind of brings you up as well.
100%.
I want to go back to Nedum earlier on in your career. So
Okay.
like where it started for you, like obviously you grew up in Manchester, right? And you was in the City from a young age, right? Was it 15?
Nah, 10.
10?
I was 10, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and when I joined at that time, so here's a story for you. So I was playing Sunday League before that, and I was playing for my age group and age group up. So I was
You
playing.
weren't a striker, was you?
At this point, I was doing everything.
I know you was quick though. I know you was quick,
Well,
man.
listen, we'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to it. But I joined. I was playing Sunday League, and one of my teams, we're getting smoked every single game. Yeah, we won 2 games all season. My Sunday League team, and one was 4-3, and one was like 7-6. All the other games, it's like 10-1s, 9-1s. We would always score one, but we're getting smoked. Yeah, and that was the older age group. But the other age group, my age group, we were doing quite well. We were winning. But I used to enjoy getting destroyed every week because it was just like different vibes. Yeah, it's just not to lose, but I enjoyed those teammates more.
Yeah.
But it's just a nice vibe or whatever. So at the end of that season, my age group played in the cup final and we won. We were all celebrating. Then my dad pulled me to the side and said, "You've been scouted by City and you're going to go on trial next week." Buzzing, so it's great, fantastic.
Did you support City at that point?
I didn't. But I didn't really support anyone.
Okay.
But found out like a few weeks later, United scouted me as well. So this is mid-90s now. This is prime Man United. Prime Man
Is this
United.
like Beckham and all these?
Prime Man
This
United.
is title winning Man
Prime
United.
Man United. At the time, City weren't even in the Premier League, I don't think. But he said that I didn't want to. He said he didn't think that I'd be interested in going there because I didn't support United.
What was you thinking?
Listen, I'll be honest. It would have been very easy to support United at that point if I wanted to try it out with them. But I joined in fact, it wasn't an academy at the time, it was Centre of Excellence. The new director of football, Jim Cassell, came in. I was the first signing when it became an academy. And then just as every year went by, it got better, got better. Because initially, like, I don't know, it's like...
Was it Main Road at the time?
Yeah, it was at Main Road. I was ball boying at Main Road, things like that.
Yeah.
I was ball boying at Main Road when they were in what is League One now.
Yeah.
Everything. So I've seen some dark moments.
So you went all the way.
You've gone like
all the way.
to go from there
So it must have
to
been hard
now
for you
is
to leave as well.
mental.
Do you want me to skip straight to that? In fact, no.
I want to hear a little bit
and
more
let me say
about
something
it.
out
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
You. Anyway, so I was playing.
I'm gonna say.
So I was
Oh, you get that? You know it means more.
No,
you.
So I was initially playing defence or whatever, but then when they put me into the academy, they put me up front.
Yeah.
So I was actually prolific through the academy times. Under 14s, I started the season playing 16s.
Yeah.
Scored in every game till Christmas. Finished the season like 40-something goals.
Was Leon Mike in your...
Nah, Leo Mike's
He's a bit older.
years
Yeah,
older
yeah.
than me, yeah. But I was doing bits. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
when it was time to go full time, just a year before actually, they started playing me centre back and up front. So when we came in full time proper, I was centre back. I remember one game in particular, this is like proper cheat code type stuff, yeah. So I was playing centre back, we were playing against Everton, we were like popping them. Nice, it was 1-0, popping them. And then they scored in the 80th minute. So the manager said, hey,
Go up front.
Get up top.
up he gets. Minute later,
Bang.
played in, pushed him out of the way, slotted the bottom corner, he says, hey, back again. It was just like a
done your
little,
job,
just a
get
little
back
cheat code at that
Get
sort of
back.
level. But I remember from that point, because I spent less time up front getting the reps in doing the shooting, like my shooting stuff was started to stink. I know there's like a feel for it, but it also helps when you do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Started to stink, and by the time I'm like finishing my career at 30-something, bro, if I have a shot in front of goal, it's a waste of time, man. It's an absolute waste of time, and it annoys me so much.
Just a quick question. Yes or no?
Go on.
Is being a striker harder than being a defender? Yes or no?
Harder.
Oh, this is a big question.
Just yes or no, Nedum. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I'm going to say no. And the reason I'm going to say no is because if you're good for 1 minute in a game, you're the hero. If I'm bad for one, I'm the villain. So in a game, we could be having a matchup, and I could be
interesting,
winning
actually,
the whole time.
But all you got to do is kick the ball out of play.
No, but if you score the winner, that's
Yeah.
my fault now.
Yeah, but all you got to do, the hardest thing in football is to score a goal, right?
You could say
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Well, it is.
You know, you could say that. It's not necessarily true, but you could say that.
Okay. So for a
The
defender,
most important thing is to score a goal.
if the ball's coming up to me, all you got to do is tackle me. Don't care where that ball
What
goes.
happens if I do that for 89 minutes, and then 90th minute you score? Who's won?
You played well though.
Irrelevant. Me playing well does not make clips. Does not make clips.
I've played in games where I'm like, I've been shocking, and then I get a goal, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's true.
Well, that's the thing.
It's true, yeah. All of a sudden, you get like.
It's interesting
an 8
to
out of
hear
10.
that though when you say you could have a chance in the last 30 seconds and you're the king of that, but if you slip up,
Get
everyone
a
hates you.
donkey.
You're getting slammed.
Getting
But then
donkeyed
if
off
you
it,
get a
that's
one-on-one
true.
and miss,
That's true as well.
But then it depends who you are, because the way narrative goes, if you get a one-on-one and miss and somebody likes you, says, oh, he'll get another one soon.
Yeah.
or he's in the right
he's in
position,
the right
or
place,
something.
Yeah, or if people don't rate you, then they start calling you, like today, they'll be like, oh, Nicholas Jackson. You know what I mean? Stuff, that type of energy.
I mean,
Which is tough. Like, good people were like, oh, you'll keep chipping away. You'll get more chances. People we don't. It's like, yeah, he's no good. He can't finish.
but back then, as when we was coming up, you get much more leeway now than you did then,
Possibly.
and you had to earn your contract.
Possibly.
Now you get money straight away from potentially being good.
Possibly. There is a great focus on
I
you,
love
the
the way he
players.
sits on the fence, you know.
No,
I love it.
I'm not sitting, what I'm doing, I'm not sitting on the fence. I'm just understanding there's a bit more to it. Like, the point you're making isn't wrong, but there's always a bit more to it.
Yeah.
Because, for example, like when we're talking about strikers and defenders, if you came out of retirement now and tried to play pro and you scored 20, 25 goals, all of a sudden all the eyes are on you because you scored 25 goals. If I came out of retirement as a defender and did well, nobody cares at all. because like a striker because the most important thing is scoring goals. If you're doing that, people always perceive your value to be higher, even though you might just be hot for one season. A defender can't be hot for one.
It's changed now.
I don't know, man.
Listen, some of these defenders are on huge contract. What good De Gea was it? 375 grand a week.
Yeah, but it's
Different era.
It's United though because they got the cash for it. That's the thing. If a club can afford to pay someone, it's mine, and not every club's the same.
And anyway, going back to before, so past times. When was your first proper contract at City? How old was you?
So when
So is it like academy at 10? Is that right?
do you mean to be paid or just a contract?
Yeah. So the first where you think, oh God, I'm in now.
When I came, I finished my GCSEs and I came in full time. Then I was to be fair.
And by the way, sorry, let me just butt in. His family as well. You know, they were strict with their GCSEs.
Strict parents.
Yeah. So I had to do my GCSEs, had to do my A-levels basically. But I went in full time after my GCSEs. I was on £80 a week. And I know some people in lower leagues.
You was on more than me. I was on 47.
That's what I mean. Some people got 45. But that 80, like I'd make it stretch.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Within a few months, I'm like the richest guy. I've got like £200-300 there. That's like anything to me. You know what I mean? That's who I was. I didn't really, as you can see, now, like, I'm not involved about fashion or just buying. I don't not bothered about things. So the first one was 80, and interestingly, when I made my debut, I was on 90.
Okay.
How
old was you then?
That was a lie. So I made my debut around 17, 18, but the first squad I was in, I was on 90 and I was playing reserves. So this is the story of my debut, yeah. So I trained with the first team for like a year or whatever, in and around it, mostly reserves. And we played a game against United on the Tuesday, reserve game. It's in front of like 6,000-7,000 people because that derby was popping off back then, academy times. And you remember Kieran Richardson?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I used to hate Kieran so much. I used to hate him because he was for me, he was the definition of like a typical Southern footballer. He used to chat so much and just loved themselves. And it's the opposite of what like a Northern player is. So I was playing right back, he was playing left wing, we're having this battle. We won the game, and I played well. I was like, yeah, did him in. I played with Kieran at Sunderland, love him to bits now. But I was at college the next day, then got a call from the kit man. He's asking me what number do I want to be. I don't even know what he's talking about, like number for what or whatever. This is in like October time, I think it is. He says, what number do you want to be? I said, I don't know. He says, all right, I'll give you 16. I said, what's it for? He said, for the game on the weekend. I said, which game? He said, it's City versus Chelsea. Mourinho's Chelsea.
So that's when you got...
So that was my first squad. So I was on the bench for that game.
That's the best. That's how it started, isn't it, with Mourinho?
Yeah.
So you didn't know you was going to be in the first team. You got a call saying what number, and then you was in.
Because the manager at the time was Kevin Keegan. He would have said to the kit man that I'm going to be involved. So the kit man's trying to get me a number now. Like I didn't even have a number to play in. Then all of a sudden I do, whilst receiving a call at college.
That's mad.
You feel what I mean?
That's mad.
And I was on the bench for that game. Nicolas Anelka scored a penalty. City won 1-0. That's the only game Chelsea lost all season. I was on £90 a week, and at that time the bonus was, if you won, it was 3,750.
So you was buzzing.
Richest man.
You was on the road.
He was trying to stay humble.
Talk about wealth.
Until he got that packet.
Oh, did you see that game on the weekend? Yeah, I saw it too, but I got paid to see it. Nah, obviously I'm joking, but that was the start of my career such, and then I was in a few squads from there before, come the end of the season, I played in every game we had a chance to play to qualify for Europe.
Do you think, was it from there you started to see, obviously, the progression from being there from a very young age to start to see City change to like where they are now?
Not necessarily at that point, because when my first academy year, it was the last season at Main Road, and I ended up playing in do you remember the academy playoff thing there? The academy playoffs at the end of the season, you'd be
yeah, we played in that as well.
Yeah, and played in the Youth Cup there as well. Seeing the club progress from that stadium to the new stadium, whilst also being in the academy, seeing them go from Premier League to League One back to the Premier League. Like, to put into context now, say City, they're a global superpower now, whatever, but a lot of the fan base is still the same. So some of the guys that see Paul Dickov as a hero for scoring the equaliser at Wembley in '99 against Gillingham, like that's it's mad thing, that's 25 years ago. Like I was there for that game. They're still supporting the team now, so they value him as much as they value a Kevin De Bruyne or a Haaland. You know, whereas like newer people more into the Haaland side of things.
I remember that. I tell you who I used to. I hated his game, but I appreciated that he always scored goals. Was that Sean Goater?
Yeah, man. You feed the goat and he will score.
Honestly, he was like to look at. I don't want to be disrespectful, but he just wasn't.
He'd agree himself.
He just wasn't. You look at him and think he's a poor player, but then he just score, and he'll score like great goals, great finishes, and he'll get the ugly ones, but he was still a great finisher.
His game is in no textbook, but you know he does it. He just huge impact, really good player. So I going through the academy from ball boying them and being in League One, seeing them go to the Championship, go to the Premier League. First game at the new stadium because it's after the Commonwealth Games 2002. Was a friendly against Barcelona. I remember sitting in the stands watching Ronaldinho on this pitch, and I was like, "This is nuts! This is nuts! Like, what's going on?" They played in the UEFA Cup the next year, and then I was training. And at the time, Kevin Keegan's manager. This is a former England manager. Like that's like progression.
Yeah.
And then from when I came in and played, it went from Kevin Keegan to Stuart Pearce. He was so. He had a high, but then had quite a few lows.
Was he good for you though, because he was a defender?
And, yes and no. Like he had his own style, brought his own experience and stuff like that. But like, I think he was still relatively new as manager at that point because he only retired a few years earlier. So that's not the best version of him. Not least of all, you had the 2 goalkeeper story.
No.
Okay, I'll come back to that.
Okay.
It's an iconic story. But the club was changing then because after Stuart Pearce left, there was the first takeover by Taksin Shinawatra, a Thai guy, and he brought in Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Oh yeah, Sven, yeah.
Sven,
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
I never thought in all my life I'd see Sven managing City, bringing in like younger players, like brought in the likes of Lano and stuff, Martin Petrov, so this guy Javier Garrido, Vedran Chorluka, like the club was changing.
I remember that.
It's like the energy was, the feel was
different.
very
You feel it
different.
changing, yeah.
It's different. Like they were throwing more money at like people. Contracts were different.
By all accounts, a lot of people liked Sven.
Well, I really liked Sven because what Sven had was like he had a care for you, and because of his history, because he wasn't just managing England, it's all the different places he managed before. If he said something to you, he meant it. When he pulls you over and says, "I think you're a really good player. I think we can do this with you and that with you," like he's saying it with his heart. Like this is why. So he's unfortunately in the final stages of his life now, and like
So sad.
everyone wants to like see him off well. You know, some people would be critical of him when he's England manager because he seems too chill on the sideline. Trust me, I'd rather have a chill manager on the sideline that knows what the plan is and has told it to the players than one on the side that's shouting, that's panicking on the side. Like panic on the side. Like you're on the pitch caught up in madness and you look across and someone's like doing all this. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So to go to a story anyway, Stuart Pearce. He's discussed this, but because it was my first season, I didn't really see the true like insanity of it all. So 2004-05, last game of the season against Middlesbrough, we're playing at home, and they're currently 7th in UEFA Cup spot. If we win, we take 7th. They just have to not lose, yeah. So it's a big game, just stars align for that to be the game. The two of us playing against each other, and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank scores a free kick from 30 yards out, rocket. Like, what's that?
Typical Jimmy.
Yeah, absolute rocket. Like 10 minutes in, I was like, this is nuts. But the crowd's up, atmosphere is great. We scored to make it 1-1 in the second half. And it's mad looking back. The amount of players playing in that game who either coached me or like mentors of mine now. It's mad. But yeah, it scores a rocket. Then it's 1-1. Then we're pushing. And then he's making subs. And Nicky Weaver was, at the time, our second choice goalie behind David James, England David James.
Yeah, I know.
So the board goes up and Claudio Reyna, father of Gio Reyna, his number comes up. And the other person coming on then is Nicky Weaver, the goalie. Nicky Weaver's coming on in goal. David James goes to the sideline, changes his top from a goalie's top to an outfielder.
David James.
David James to an outfielder top. So now David James is playing up front as a striker.
Target man.
But well, you assume target man because he's big. David James has never played, doesn't even play outfield in training. So David James is playing up front now with Nicky Weaver in goal. And we had a striker on the bench, John Macken, who was at the time was City's record signing. And the last sub went.
Why is he not on? I don't know.
Nobody knows. But what was worse was David James playing up front confused everyone because nobody's seen it coming. No one on our side or their side or Borough's side. And
he scored, didn't he?
No. Oh, listen, I wish he did, but he didn't score. But to put it into true context, the shirt had to be printed before the game because goalies don't have outfield shirts.
They knew.
So before the game, Stuart Pearce decided the best thing to do would be to have David James play up front in this game.
So he had his shirt
So he
printed.
printed
He had
the shirt
the shirt
before.
printed before.
He didn't
the
like
game.
John
Knew
Macken.
it was
then.
happening.
I don't care what no one
But
says.
the thing with Stuart at the time, like if he feels something, he's gonna like stick with it. He's like a vibes guy, but that's a crazy vibe.
Did you ask him about it afterwards then?
At the time, I'm 18. I'm not saying a word. Like, but I'd imagine. I wonder who felt worse because it's obviously John Macken's position, you know, where he's sitting on the bench, knowing the team need a goal, he's not coming on, and then there's Claudio Reyna, American international, American captain, who's going across to be substituted out for a goalkeeper to go in there so that someone else can go and affect the game up front, and all that was for as wild as it was. Still had a penalty in the last minute of the game with Robbie Fowler, and if he scored, would have gotten in. Mark Schwarzer saved it.
Mark Schwarzer saved it.
Mark Schwarzer saved it, and Robbie Fowler never misses pens as well. It's like one of the
Yeah,
that was my
that's true.
opening
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
That's one of the maddest seasons ever experienced. I was like, yeah.
You
this is
expect him to
special.
score it.
Everyone expected him to score it.
Yeah.
And then next thing's like, it's all over. And then we can forget. It's almost like people forget that David James was playing up front in the game because Robbie Fowler missed the penalty.
penalty.
and stopped the chance.
It's
Yeah.
mad, isn't it?
Nedum, can I ask you about your family? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
In particular, you know, your mum and all that. Yeah. So obviously, when we was at QPR, you know, your mum passed away. Like, you know, with all the mental health and all the things you have to deal with now with the pressure. How was that for you? Because I remember I was always thinking when we was there in that dressing room, I didn't even know how to approach you and like try and, you know, kind of, I don't want to say console you, but just like, you know, like someone to talk to if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously like death is a significant part of like just life and stuff in general.
Yeah.
But at the time, I think I was 25. Oh yeah, it's 25.
Yeah, because I was like 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to lose a parent at 25 is, you know, it's mad. Because at the time as well, I always thought she was gonna get better. So she had cancer, and then all of a sudden it just started to turn, got really aggressive, and then next thing I'm basically like, me and my sisters were watching her die at home in Manchester. This stuff it rocks you because I was like a proper like mother's boy as well.
Yeah.
She was the type of person where she'd seen every game I'd ever played in, from like 7, 8, 9, whatever, all the way
She just
through to
continue to watch.
everywhere. I could be playing in. In fact, I played in Bulgaria for the 21s, and she's there. You know what I mean? Like, she went to every game.
She's like your biggest fan, your mum,
Biggest
everything
fan,
to you,
seen everything. And with that, it means that like I can talk to her about everything. So after training, I'd speak to her all the time, especially when she was ill, checking in on her, having like a true relationship where if I said something, it's not just in the context of that moment, it's in the context of everything. And it's very unique to her. So from when she passed, I've lost that. And lots of people, my wife, my dad, friends, they try and step in, but it couldn't really, because
fill
they didn't
that
really
space.
know.
Yeah,
Because like the space is bigger than people realize. And in fairness, people were really nice to me. They were really supportive at the time. But then also what made it more tricky was when she passed, Mark Hughes, who was the reason, to be fair, was the biggest reason I was in London anyway, because he's my previous manager at City. He got sacked as well. Her Redknapp came in. So there's a guy who I don't know at all. And I'm pretty sure this is correct, but I was away for 2 weeks. When I had time off sorting out a funeral, Mark Hughes was manager. And then I was off for like a week, 2 weeks, and then Harry Redknapp came in and he asked me to be involved. He said, could I come back down south because he wants to have a look at me to like play in the game on the weekend. So I was like, okay, because I was thinking it's probably best to get back into the groove to like take the mind off it.
Yeah.
So I came back, trained Monday through Friday. Then we had a game up north, I think it might have been Wigan or something like that. Travelled up. Then on game day, he names the starting 11. I'm not in that. Names the bench. I'm not on the bench either. Bro, respectfully, I couldn't have left the stadium any quicker. I was like, why am I here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How do you, so that's an adverse situation, and a lot of people, it takes them so long. Some people don't even get over losses and things like that. What was it for you that helped you continue to do what you did and play football and get on with things?
Do you know what? Even to this day, I'm not over it because I've got 3 young kids, 10, 6, and 5, and they don't know her. They don't know the most important person that existed in my life. And I can try and like describe it to them, but it doesn't feel the same. Like with kids, kids see things in a very simple way. You know what I mean? You can try and tell them a story, but if they don't see it, then they don't really feel it. And you kind of want them to feel it because how important she was.
Yeah.
Like the pictures of her all around the house, and they see her, They say, oh, that's your mom. They don't say that's my grandma. You know, there's lots of little things like that. So that's it. I'm not like over it because I still have a longing for her to have seen her grandkids. She never got a chance to do it. But I think from that point, that's when my career felt like work. And there's a point with everyone where like it's like football for me is the best sport. So many different elements to it, whether it's like the way you can travel the world for some people, whether it's the pay, whether it's the opportunity, playing at some of the biggest stadiums, playing against some of the best players, being spoken about on like a worldwide stage. But then as you get older, it changes because your priorities are different. You know, the way you see the game in your early 20s is different to how you see it in your 30s. Like priorities are different. And for me, that's when it started to turn, because I was doing it and I was in London, but I was a different person now.
And you're away from home as well.
Away from home,
family and stuff.
Different person now. So to get through it, like I did the best that I could. Like we mentioned right at the start about training things, so I'd train hard. I went from being in a position where I loved training, loved games, loved everything, to like I didn't really love games, but I'd like training. Yeah. And then it got to the point where I'd go to training and I'd be taking part in games. And you know, you'd still have the highs, you still have the lows. But once you have that sense of mortality into your life, like it doesn't feel the same.
I'll be honest with you, Nedum. You know, like obviously when that happened to you, that put things in my life in perspective, because I remember I went the day that I found out. I remember I went home, and I was calling my mum straight away, because I was like, me and my mum had a bit of a, you know, when you're growing up, we had a bit of a volatile relationship. I left home when I was 18 to go to Coventry, right? So like, because I was by myself a lot in those important years, me and my mum had a bit of a volatile relationship. But then when that happened with your family, I just couldn't help think about my family, because I was thinking, man, what if I lost my mum? Because you don't think about it, do you?
No, you don't.
You just think they're going to be there all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same. Well, not same, but it's similar in terms of like good health.
Yeah.
When you feel good, you don't appreciate it.
You don't even think.
You don't
think
know about it.
Yeah.
But then say you've got like a sore foot, you've got a sore back, you've got something. All of a sudden you realize like how much you should value like feeling good.
Yeah.
And family-wise, like you have everyone until you don't. And people might be lucky enough for their parents to live till they're 100. But then even still, at some point, they're not going to be here anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and that sense of, I'd say, of just like mortality, it puts things into perspective, and that it's affected the way that I see things, because I'm never really like too up on that or down on anything. Like, and I can get over stuff. Like I've been with my wife as a girlfriend or wife for 22 years.
Wow, I'm
like,
20.
I'm so chilled out about everything. Most stuff doesn't matter. We don't like argue about stuff because it just doesn't. How much does it really matter? And some of that comes, as I say, because you never know. Like this time seeing someone might be the last time you see someone.
It's real.
So as you walk away, how do you feel? Because if you feel negative about it, then how would you feel if something bad happened? Could never address it.
Leave on a good situation there,
Yeah,
good positive words. You mentioned there, Nedum, that football is the best sport in the world, but you're also a golf lover, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true.
Where did the love...
kept it a secret from me.
Until that day.
When I see him at the Wisley, I was like, what are you doing there?
So funny story, actually. I met Jay at the Wisley for the first time. Met you at the Wisley for the first time. I didn't actually end up playing golf because I was sick.
I pulled a sickie.
Yeah. I had bad prawns in camp. Don't go to Camberley Wagamama's because it gives you food poisoning. But yeah, don't go there. Where did the love from golf come from?
The love. So from when I was younger, so we're talking, because I've low-key played for a very long time. So the love started when...
Is that club events though, what we're talking about?
Is it just like...
Or you actually went and played by yourself?
I'll build it.
Okay.
He's building,
He's
a
professional. You know what I mean? Just brick by brick, you know what I mean? But my father-in-law, so this is before I was married or whatever, but he used to go and play at a place not too far away in Manchester. And he said, oh, you should try it sometime. I was never, like, I'm a city boy. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't go to those places. It's like grass. What are we talking about? So it's just, if it's not concrete and buildings, like, I'm not really involved. But still, I was like, okay, yeah, so I'll try it. And I tried it, and I was horrendous. And he always used to beat me. He used to hammer me, like, every time we'd play. He said, oh, just come play. That's bonding with my wife's dad. Well, let's play. stunk. Nothing worse in the world than my short game. Nothing. Tell you that's a fact.
You didn't have a good touch on football either.
Trust me. And whatever you think that was, my short game golf-wise was worse. But yeah, it was so bad. But still, I enjoyed being out with someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just chatting away, playing. And then from there, I was like, oh, there's a driving range.
Okay.
And then that feeling, oh, hang on. So I just get these balls, I just stay here, just hit balls
just
over
hit
there.
them,
Just
stand
keep
there,
hitting. Just keep hitting. And if I got money, I just get some more, keep hitting. I was like, okay, cool. So I started playing about 2008-9. Then I went to Sunderland on loan in 10-11, and I borrowed some clubs from Fraser Campbell, who's a really good friend of mine, because he just did his knee. So I got some coaching up there for a little bit. And listen, it's tough up there. It's windy.
Yeah.
It's cold. It's tough up there. It's tough.
Cold.
But also around those times, 2010, like I've been playing like the Tiger Woods video game, but now I'm seeing Tiger Woods on TV as well.
So you thinking,
I'm like,
joining all the dots.
I'm like,
Thinking,
okay,
maybe
so
I've got.
this is
Can I be the next
Maybe
Tiger?
I've got a chance.
yeah, listen, I'm acutely aware I was never going to be the next Tiger. But all of a sudden, the interest starts to go up.
Yeah.
Because there's this like guy who I see, and it's mad because some people say representation stuff doesn't matter, but even now, as I look back as my younger years, say watching football, the people that matter the most to me end up being people who look like me.
Yeah.
Like Ian Wright's got to me. You know what I mean? Thierry Henry's got to me. Patrick Vieira's got to me. Like. Yeah. But there's so many other great players as good as them or whatever.
100%, like you said there, it makes you think like you can do what they do.
But even whether you're thinking about it consciously or not, it's still a thing. Like Tiger Woods is probably still, for many people who are casual golf viewers, the only black player they've ever seen playing golf. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily talking about like Harold Varner or like other people like that. They've still only seen Tiger.
Yeah.
But Tiger then legitimizes your presence in that environment as well, because he exists. If he didn't exist, then you look even more strange when you're traveling around trying to play. Because I've had some funny moments on the course as well, some real funny moments.
We have to get to
we can
those.
allude
We
to
definitely
them.
have to get to
Yeah,
those,
because listen, like
I have as well. Do you know like it's the look?
yeah, like
The look like.
this. It's just some of that stuff. Some of that stuff. It's just crazy because, in my opinion, and this I stress is my opinion. The people who are at some of these golf clubs, they're there because they can afford to be there. They're not there because there's something in their bloodline that says that this is their divine right. So if someone else is there for the same reason that you're there, why would you look at them and think that they shouldn't be there?
Differently.
You know what I mean?
It's true actually.
That's I don't know. I find all that stuff weird. But anyway, so I played 10, 11. Then when I came to London, I was looking for driving ranges. There was like the one on the A3.
Oh no, them zones.
What's it called now? It's like World of Golf. It's like a really big one.
I've
New
heard of
Malden.
that name,
Yeah, New Malden.
World of Golf.
And then when I was living in Surrey, in fact, when I initially was living in Richmond, and there was the driving range down in Chiswick, Duke's Meadow.
Yeah.
I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know what? I'm a range rat. That's what I am.
You love a range.
I'm a range rat, 100% a range rat. Because range, like, I can either have 20 minutes or I can have like a couple hours.
Yeah.
But if I've got 20 minutes, I'm not going to the course.
Yeah.
If I've got an hour, I'm probably not going to the course.
Did it get to a point where you was looking where you was travelling, where I can sneak in a few shots?
Yes, absolute range rat. I'm someone now who drives around with clubs in my boot, not to around the golf. Oh, this is just a range here. Just shot it here, why not? So I moved to Surrey looking for ranges again, and then the Wisley came up.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, it's a grass range. It's all right. So I went down to just have a look at it. Talk about falling in love. Yeah. Oh my God.
How good is it?
Oh my God.
The facilities.
The facilities, the 3-9s, the range, in fact, more and more balls are given to you. You're playing off grass. Staff is so nice.
Yeah.
It's good investment too, right?
It's such a good investment. And the feeling, like, I'm on a range and like Paul Casey's here, Francesco Monari's here. And they're saying to me, oh, you fancy a quick night? I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean a quick night? Me?
Did that really happen? Yeah.
All the pros.
Yeah,
like, because I play football, I forget sometimes that football.
It's hand in hand. We've got to kind of go for
Oh,
it.
just like football's massive.
Yeah, yeah.
Like these guys are in their zone, but football's massive. So they see me and see others, and there's a connection.
Yeah.
Because you're basically both in pro sport. And they're like, oh, you fancy a knock? And yeah, sure, yeah. So I'm on the range, and like, you'd know the pros, because they've usually got like some sort of setup. There might be like a trackman there or whatever. Yeah. There might be Dennis Pugh or someone. I was like, they're clean, you know what I mean? You just keep hearing the same sound every time, like,
yeah, that sound.
Instead of just like sclaff when I'm just in there. I got nothing but mud on my clothes.
Who's this
and
guy
then
over here digging up the range?
Like-
The difference going further than the
Bro,
ball.
I tell you pressure. Pressure is when you got the shanks and you're flipping carving it right to where they are.
Oh, where they are.
Yeah, but still, they're like, they know that, like, they're the pros. Anyone else is just anyone else. They just want to have a conversation, want to have a chat. Like, it sort of breaks up their sessions and stuff. So to be there going round, and that course was perfect for me. It was on the way back to my house after training, and at the time I only had one kid, so I had some time. And when you want to talk about time at the Wizard, it's like, I think it's one of the best clubs that I've ever been to.
I said that, didn't I?
You've seen it. You're on the range. It's summertime. There's a food hut next to the range. You know what I mean? So if you're a little bit hungry or thirsty, you get a little
Sit
thing.
on the bench.
It's like, this is going well. Let me go
chill.
and test it out. Oh, well, there's a 9-hole here, 9-hole here, but they've also got like a looper 3 and a looper 6.
You could be there. I bet you were there all day.
I was there all day, and I started to get a little bit better, watching lots of stuff, like whether it be YouTube, whilst getting coaching from, well, not coaching, because I'm not like, my aim was to get to a standard where I can play any course in the
What do you
world.
play off now? What do you score if you're going out on the course?
If I'm playing properly and I'm playing well, my best round at the Wizard was 78,
Okay,
but I'd probably shoot mid-80s,
Okay.
80 to mid-80s.
that's good.
But again, it's like,
So what's your
all
handicap?
depends. I don't have one, because the
Okay.
way that I play golf in probably the exact opposite way to how most people do. Because when I play, because of the way football is so intense and so on, if I'm playing and I'm going to play with someone else, I don't want to be thinking the night before that I'm desperate to play well. I just want to enjoy
you just
myself.
want to relax.
I just want to enjoy
You're
myself.
opposites.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
opposite. I don't sleep at night.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not really...
He gets that excited and wants
I get
to
that excited
beat
about the
and
course, and I'm
wants to win.
thinking, okay, I'm playing at this course.
Yeah, I just want to play
You
well.
just
So
wanna relax.
if I'm with my friends, say if we're not playing like a match play or whatever, and someone hits a bad shot and getting really angry, just hit another one, man.
Yeah, you just drop a ball.
It doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter, because I'm not trying to get a handicap to play in a competition. I know how good I can be. I know how good I am.
It's funny actually how everyone consumes a game differently. It's like you, Nedum, you just want to go there, relax sometimes. Some people want to play for money. Some people want to get their handicap down. There's so many ways to consume the game. And what I was going to say earlier was football and golf. Like, there's so many people that cross over.
Because a lot of people with football, like generally, Nedum, you start training at what 10:30.
Yeah, you've got
you
time.
can be finished at like 1.
You got time.
Yeah, so you got
So you got time.
Yeah.
And then that's when people like you, Nedum, going to the range and doing stuff like that.
You've got
to go
time.
and do that.
You've got time for the obsession, because that's the thing we got off. Like, it's very rare that you just dip your toe and then you just dip out. Like, from when you're in, and you sort of feel it. From when you've struck that first iron well or hit a drive good
You
distance,
just wanted to.
nah,
You're in, aren't you?
you got me.
That's
You
it,
know what I
man.
mean?
I can do that again.
You got me. Yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then I think as well with golf, the beauty of it is like you can never really perfect it, can you?
No,
You know what
it's
I mean?
always levels.
And it's always
Always
different
levels.
as well.
Yeah.
It's
And
always
you-
different.
Like, you could be
different courses,
Yeah.
different grasses.
Different lie, different weather.
and you don't know these things until you're in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know where every course was until all of a sudden I'm looking for a course to play because I'm itching.
Yeah.
And I was like, so there's this one, this one, this
And
one.
that's the thing you said earlier. Again, football took you everywhere, all over the world. Golf's one of them things where it is
Follow the sun.
literally everywhere. Follow the sun, as you say as well.
That's the thing where if you were like a really elite golfer versus an elite footballer, that's the win, because you're always going to be somewhere where the weather's good.
True.
Do you know what I mean? And obviously it depends on your individual like performance in terms of income, but in terms of getting sun on your back.
What do you think to this then? Jay's got big thoughts to this. So obviously golf is in a weird place now where live and everything's become a thing, and golfers are getting paid up front to go out and play. And you think that golf should be like that? In the fact that they should get money to be able to go and play exactly what they want, whereas golf is like you have to go, and I know football you have to work hard to earn your money, but still in golf
It's a job.
you're
getting paid.
If you're not playing well, you're not getting paid.
You know what I said was, because now we're in this golf space, I've met so many good golfers, and I say to them, why didn't you continue, to strive? Couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Right. And so what I'm saying is, if golf was to support more golfers, even just their expenses to get them there, playing competitions, get them home, it will give more golfers a better opportunity of actually making it.
Yeah.
And I think, like, was it golf and tennis are the only sports where you're behind before you hit a ball.
Yeah, it's facts. I think it's funny that you mentioned tennis as well, because I was speaking with Liam Brody the other day, and he was saying the same sort of thing, and he's like a top 100 in the world, but he was talking about the cost of doing it all. And I think from a golf perspective, knowing some people who've tried to aspire to be higher, whether they're playing mini tour, desperate to get on main tours and so on, or people who are good enough to be on main tour, like all these guys are really good. But it does feel a bit weird when the limiting factor of time is income, because you can't afford to go and do this.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And if you say don't, and because it's like a different sort of pressure as well. If you've got really good backing, you've got time.
Yeah.
And time is something that can affect performance. Like if someone's thinking, right, I have to finish top 20 this week or I can't play next week, all of a sudden you feel it as a failure because you're 21st.
Yeah. And also like that thing that you said, if somebody's supporting me for 3 years, the mindset change from that, I've got 3 years, I've got 150 events here now to see if I can put something together and make a career out of it.
But that's the thing also, like I look at these, like a 10-foot putt, that would be like a mile long if you know that you have to sink the putt to play in the next competition.
Do you know, I stand by my point, but I'd also say there are some people who just see it as a dream who aren't good enough to do it. So there's a balance as well. Because say when we're talking about tours, we tend to talk about like the top 40, 50, 60 in the world. But you could be going down to 500, like people playing on Challenge Tour who are like 500, 600, who are like top. But then you look at something like Q School, and there are some people who will spend the 1800 or whatever to try and qualify.
Yeah. There's a different pressure. Like they might have been working all year to get into Q School.
Exactly, but that's my point. That's my point. I think there's
no, but
like with football,
they might not be ready for it though, because it's an aspiration. That's the thing.
And we wasn't ready for football, right? But you still get paid to do it from a young age, right?
It supports the journey.
They support your journey. They give you the opportunity where you think, you know what? All I have to worry about is football.
Your mum's rent and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I could give my mum, like Arsenal used to give me, my parents like 400 quid a month just for food. And it was like, that in itself.
Yeah, it makes a difference,
made a difference where I haven't got to, worry about. I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you straight. I mean, you probably had a good diet. For me, man, I was growing up on packet spaghetti.
And
like I'd eat Chinese like 3 times a week because Chinese back in the day was like £2.
Yeah.
I could get I could get curry chips, and rice for £2, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I was just like, let me eat this. But again, when I started getting paid, I could start eating properly now, and it'd take the pressure off my mum having to go and work 3 jobs. Now she just, she could have a good life herself. And I feel like with golf, you're always worrying about your financials. So you can't put 100% focus on your game.
Entry fees.
Exactly. And that's the thing. With football, you get paid, you just focus on football. You ain't got to worry about nothing until contract time coming. But you ain't got to worry about nothing initially to begin with.
I just think it's different because even say for however much money you've got, I've got, Trey's got, or whatever, like if you went and picked someone that's ranked 1,000 in the world now and said, we'll financially secure you for the next 2 years to try and see what you could be, their potential might not be as high as might not be that high anyway. So the sort of money side of things, I think it's a double-edged sword because I think we lose some talent who can't afford to progress. But then we also have some people fall by the wayside who were never going to be good enough anyway. That's the thing, because there's a finite amount of slots available there. Like they're all good, but some people are like
different.
But my point is the opportunity, Nedum. The opportunity.
But then it depends, because we can talk opportunity, but not every entry fee is the same price. Like there's some places where you could maybe accrue, like there's some people, for example, is it like Paul Hendrickson down in like the Southwest, South Devon? He's cleaning up everything. You know what I mean? Like he's
a good player.
Yes, what I mean.
Like, really good player actually.
Like he's really good player, and that's where he's at.
But
and
that's somebody I relate to that actually, because that's someone who's a good player, but then he's teaching to afford do things, and then you're not practicing, so it's a double edged, like you said.
Exactly.
But Todd Clement, he's a good friend of mine, and like I was speaking to him not too long ago actually, and we were saying that he's won on tour, but still tour players still think about the financials, and to the point where like you know, now we're kind of in this space, you know, I don't like calling ourselves this, but like influencers and, you know, YouTubers and all this kind of stuff. But ultimately now, if you've got a following, you could be getting better endorsement money than an actual professional golfer.
So do that.
100%.
Well, that's what I'm doing, bro.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it depends what you're doing. Yeah.
Here's something with that. Did you see that Myrtle Beach thing where the YouTubers could qualify for the PJ Tour? There was a big uproar between some mini tours saying that they're taking spots, all these YouTubers, and the YouTubers are obviously like worked so hard to create their following. And I remember when I couldn't get a glove when I was playing off anybody, but now since I start doing content and all this stuff, like I can get things, and it's like, where's the balance? I want to play, but
I think that's a really good point. And I'll be honest, like, I watch more YouTube than I do TV, so I'm connected in that world as such. Have been for like over a decade, and for me, golf itself, it's not that cool TV wise. Even though, you know, we know the likes of Zayn and others who are on
I'll
the
go
shows.
one step further, mate. I used to put it on to go fall asleep.
Yeah, like you watch it.
I watch the only one that I really watch is the Masters.
Yeah,
Where I really watch it.
yeah.
Other ones I flick on and flick off.
I get that about the Masters, the Open, things like that. Like, but what's interesting from a YouTube side of things, like YouTube has an audience and it has a younger audience. Yeah. And I think as far as like sports goes, I think most sport on TV is technically in decline. Not to say that it's declining to where it'll reach zero. It's just not what it was in the past. It's because of alternatives. Yeah. So,
very true.
Like, I understand the value in a golf influencer, you know what I mean? Whether we're talking about like Good Goods, Grant Horvats, all these types of people, because if you want the sports to continue, young people have to be at the forefront.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you can entertain the older ones, but at some point that interest will like vanish.
Yeah. That's why we try and hopefully do what we do and try and make golf a little bit more exciting and watchable for younger audience.
And again, like you said, people that look like us.
Yeah,
and come from humble backgrounds.
It's just, I think things like YouTube can offer an incredible starting point to the obsession. Because say you can watch someone, you can watch you guys, watch Pete Finch, Rick Shields, whoever, but then you also want to play. Yeah. And then from when you're playing, like the bug starts to feel a bit different still. Yeah. And that's like, it's the arc of people, you know, someone mentions golf, you don't really watch it, then you catch some video, you like it. Yeah. The next thing you're on the range doing it, you're like, oh, I want to get better. Next thing you're watching like old tutorial videos from like 2 years ago. And there's like, oh, I think I figured this out now. Oh, Masters is on, all right, cool, I'm watching Masters. And then all of a sudden you're part of that community.
It's a bigger thing,
you know what I mean? And yeah, it's fun, man. I love the game so much.
Right. So as you're our first guest on this season 2, Nedum, we're going to get you to do our brand new challenge for this season, which is the longest drive.
Okay. Can I do it right? And then I've got to use his left-handed club.
we'll give you a right. And we'll give you a right.
I've seen you. Actually, you could be better doing it with left.
Anyway.
Ready? Let's do it. Right, welcome back. Round 1 of the first guest of season 2 of the podcast. We've got a longest drive challenge. Nedum, you ready for this? I know you're getting nervous now.
Man's setting the tone.
Setting
the tone this season.
Well, I can't finish last because I'm destined to be first after this now. But yeah, a bit nervous. No warm-ups.
No warm-ups.
That's the standard. Yeah. No warm-ups, yeah?
So everyone
this season, no warm-ups.
No warm-ups. Okay. No warm-ups. So if anyone says they want a warm-up, tell them they're soft, yeah?
Okay, let's go.
You got a deal.
Right.
Ready?
Yeah, man. Sod it. Why not?
If he catches that.
This is going.
Yeah.
I see them triceps.
You see everything.
I've spoofed it.
That's in though, right?
It's a bad one. It's a bad opener. I've missed it. It's 8 yards wide. I missed it. No, it's a bad one.
It's cutting back. It's on.
It's in.
I skied it. It's gone 200 yards.
Yeah, do you want a lower tee?
No, it's all right. I just want to send it down the fairway.
193.
It's in. Worst case, it's 193.
No, don't worry about that. I'll fix that. Historically
this
bad, that. Oh, I've roofed it again. No.
I think you need that lower tee, bro.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He's still in, though.
A little purple. That's gone longer.
It's just so high.
No pressure, but this is your last one.
What would you usually hit it, would you say?
What would I?
What would you take?
The quickest I've gone on a TrackMan was 124 miles per hour.
What, really?
Yeah.
What?
That's
just
quick.
that's if
Jay ain't got that in it.
I haven't got that in me. I don't need to. I'm tall though, innit?
This is it.
Come on then, shot 3. We've got 220 in the bank. Yeah, that was
That
a good
one
hit.
looked good.
That was a good
That one
hit,
looked
bro.
good. Okay, hold
Dead
on, hold
straight
on.
as well.
Right, boy. I'm
Nah,
I'm
still not gone far enough.
No?
What? Hold on.
This is...
What? Just dash it come down.
317.
Technically speaking,
Bro, he said he didn't get it as well.
I didn't get it.
He said he didn't get it.
I told you, the
Not in
boy's
the middle.
powerful. It's all that hard food, we boy.
Yeah.
317
You happy with that?
yards.
Well, it's better than 220, so yeah.
Bro, that was serious.
That was a big
317, you know.
That's like
That's not even his, that's not even his club. You like them tailor-mades?
it was alright, to be fair.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm just not in the middle yet. Trying to protect
That
it.
must
Hold
have
on.
been middle.
Let's
though.
just
That
see
must
it.
have been
It
middle.
wasn't, you know, wasn't.
No skies. We're good.
We were all just a
We're
bit,
good, we're
little
good,
high
we're good.
heel. But yeah, 317.
370.
I live with that.
I tell you, that's going to take some beating.
What's it?
I'm not-
That might not get beaten, you know, unless I have a go, of course. Bro, thanks so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure having you on, hearing your story and everything, and then obviously seeing that drive there. We
need to
on
get on the
Listen,
course as well.
if I have to wait till season 3 to go on the top, then I will, because I know there's more in there as well.
But we're going to get you on the course before that, though, isn't it?
Yes, true. Yeah.
The only
Get on
thing,
the
Jay
Wisley.
won't travel to Manchester, though. That's the
Fine,
only
I'll come
thing.
down there.
Yeah,
The courses
no,
are nice. If you say Wisley, I'll be there in 2 seconds.
Wisley's-
We're Wisley. We'll get to the Wisley
Okay,
then. We'll
we'll
get to
do
the
that.
Happy
Wisley.
days. Thank you very
Right
much.
on.
Thanks
Thanks,
so
bro.
much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you, bro.
To see you, brother.
You too, man. You too.
Thanks for coming down, man. I really appreciate it, bro.
312.
Pleasure, man.
Pleasure.
I want you to tag me if you get to 350 as well, yeah? On a little story on there.
350. If you get to 350, right? 350. You think you can get? You think you can get?
He's
to
got
over
the speed
350?
in there, just needs a strike.
Yeah, man.
Have you ever hit 350?
Probably come close a few times, yeah.
I can't get nowhere near there.
Love, bro.
No,
Take
thanks,
care then.
Thanks,
See you
bro.
later.